Welcome to episode 1 of the Rebuild Recovery podcast, where we talk all things recovery, not just about how to get clean, but how to stay clean and rebuild a life worth staying clean for. This is a lived experience podcast where I believe recovery isn't a destination, it's a lifestyle. My name is Hayden Thorn. I've lived through addiction and I've walked the path of recovery, and I'm still going strong 7 years in. Today we're going to talk about one of the deepest, most destructive beliefs that keep people stuck and a major cause of relapse. It's the belief that you're missing something and that you're not enough. Most men don't relapse because there is something inherently wrong with them. They relapse because they're in pain. Not always the kind that you can see, like grief, stress, or trauma. It's the invisible kind. The pain underneath. The kind that hides behind the smile or the joke you make when people ask how you're going. It's not loneliness. It's not shame. It's the I'm not enough. That deep belief that says something is missing in me, something is wrong with me, so I need to fix it, hide it, or fill it. And until you can heal that, you'll probably get clean and eventually fall back into the same patterns of behavior. Not because you're broken, but because you've been living a lie. The core belief that I'm not enough. And it's almost universal. Every man I know who has battled addiction has lived with this silent, chronic whisper, I'm not enough. Not successful enough, not strong enough, not lovable enough, not spiritual enough, not man enough. And this belief didn't come from nowhere. It was learned, taught in childhood, in school, in relationships, and even in religion. It got reinforced every time you were abandoned, rejected, criticized, or told to be someone else. And over time, that voice became your own. I don't belong. I'm not safe. Something is wrong with me. You didn't choose this belief. It was given to you. And now your entire system is wired around it. You work to escape it. You achieve to cover it up. You will isolate to avoid it. And eventually you relapse because of it. You don't relapse to feel good. You relapse to feel better. Just for a second, just to turn that voice off. The problem isn't the relapse. The problem is the belief. The belief in that I'm not good enough. And every time you feel sadness, that's not random. Because sadness is not a weakness. It's actually an intelligence. It's your body's way of saying, I believe I'm lacking something. I believe I've lost something, or I believe I'm not enough. It's not the sadness that causes the relapse. It's actually your relationship with it. Most of us were never taught how to sit with sadness. We were taught push it down, harden up, or hide it. So when the sadness does rise, we don't know what to do with it. We think we're losing control. We think something is wrong, but sadness is not the enemy. It's actually an invitation. And if you let it speak, it will say something like, I feel like no one sees me. I feel like I'm failing again. I feel unlovable. And if you keep ignoring sadness, keep numbing it, keep medicating it, it'll always find its way back. Every time you relapse, it's not because you've failed recovery. It's because you failed to realize something crucial. You're not lacking. You've just been taught to see life through the lens of lack. But here's the thing. If you were really aware of your wholeness, your spirit, your divine nature, your perfectness, you couldn't actually feel lack. But you have forgotten who you truly are. And that's the whole issue. Not the drugs, not the porn, not the bottle, not the sugar, not the chaos. The issue is that you believe what the ego says about you. And the ego is designed to say one thing. You're incomplete, you need something, so go and find it. So you chase the girl, the job, the validation, the physique, the money, the followers, the approval, but nothing seems to stick because lack can't be solved by something external. The only real solution is to bring it into your awareness and ask, what do I believe I am lacking right now? It seems simple, but if we get this right, it'll undo years of addiction at the root. When you pause, breathe, and ask that question in stillness, not as a victim, but as a curious observer, sadness will answer. And if you stop pushing it away, stop numbing it, stop distracting from it, the sadness will actually speak to you. What you'll find is not scary, but it's actually quite sacred. Because deep down, you're just trying to feel safe again. Relapse happens when the body doesn't feel safe, not just physically, but also emotionally. When you are in fight or flight, when shame shows up, when connection disappears, when life feels too heavy and you've got nothing to stand on, you'll grab whatever gave you relief in the past. And that makes sense because addiction at its core is an attempt to create safety. Even if it's fake, even if it's short-lived, even if it costs you everything, at least it's familiar. At least it stops the pain just for a moment. And the shame will always come back tenfold. And now you're just not sad, you've just reinforced the belief. See, I knew I'd fuck it up. I'd never get this right, and I'm just a piece of shit. But that's not the truth. That's the old programming. And it's time you learn to hear the difference. You were never broken. You were conditioned. Let's call it for what it is. You were actually born perfect. You were taught to believe you're broken, conditioned by a system, school, society, religion, media, that you need to doubt yourself. Because a man who feels whole doesn't need to buy, he doesn't need to prove anything, or he doesn't need to obey. He doesn't follow fear, he doesn't consume to feel better, and he doesn't look outside the world for permission to be who he is. So what do? They teach you that success is external, that love is conditional, that worth is earned, that failure defines you, that being too emotional is weak, that fitting in is more important than being real. They feed you the lie of lack on repeat, and it works until one day it doesn't, because one day you wake up and you realize, I've been trying to fix something that was never really broken. That's what this journey is. It's not fixing, not self-help, not becoming better. It's about remembering the man you were before the pain, before the guilt, before the relapse, before the shame made you forget who you are. So next time you feel like picking up, next time you feel that inner tightness rising, that emptiness pulling at your chest, don't run. Pause, breathe, place your hand on your chest and ask, what am I believing about myself right now? What do I think I'm missing? What does this part of me need to say? And you'll be surprised how quickly the body responds when you listen. The real power isn't fighting the relapse urge. The real power is sitting down and saying to that urge, you can speak. I'm listening. What's the pain trying to stop me from feeling? And that's the real strength. That's how you become the man you were meant to be. Not by denying your pain, but by sitting with it like a brother who finally showed up. You are enough, full stop. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to wait until you're clean enough, disciplined enough, spiritual enough, loved enough, because you are enough and because you exist, because you breathe, because you have life running through you. And that same intelligence that created the ocean, the stars, the moon, sky, brought you into existence. Not the relapse, not the mistake. No past can undo that. You were made whole. You were just forgotten. You believed the world. You let their fear become your story. But now you know better, and now you can choose better. No more chasing, no more hiding, no more running from the ache. You feel it, you own it, you serve from it, and you reclaim your place in the world, not as someone who's trying to get back what he lost, but someone who knows it was never lost in the first place. You are not in recovery to become someone else. You are here to return to the man that you've always been, and he is enough. My name is Hayden Thorn, and if you would like a copy of my ebook, The Hidden Reason You Keep Relapsing, comment below, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll be happy to send it through. Until next time, keep rebuilding recovery.